Before we dive into the heart of today's story, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss the kind of deep hidden history that rarely gets told. Today we're uncovering a tool that was quietly present in the lives of soldiers, but has largely vanished from popular memory. It isn't a gun, a uniform, or even a secret code. It's something far simpler, yet it changed how soldiers survived and operated in some of the most brutal conditions imaginable. When most people think of survival in war, they picture rifles and rations, tanks and trenches. But real soldiers, those on the front lines in World War I and II, relied on subtler, often overlooked tools that shaped their daily survival. Among these, one stands out for its ingenuity, quiet efficiency, and surprising relevance even today. We're talking about the humble yet revolutionary trench lighter, a small device that gave soldiers more than fire. It gave them control, security, and life-saving timing under circumstances where a single flame could mean life or death. Soldiers needed fire, but fire could get you killed. In the chaos of trench warfare, particularly in World War I, lighting a match at night wasn't a casual act, it was a deadly signal. Snipers could spot a small flicker from hundreds of meters away, turning what should have been a routine cigarette or task into a potential death sentence. Yet fire was essential. Soldiers needed warmth, a means to cook, and a tool to signal or coordinate movements. This problem gave rise to the widespread use of compact, reliable lighters, often carried discreetly and sometimes improvised from almost anything metal and flint-based. These lighters were more than convenience. They were survival tools. A well-made lighter allowed soldiers to produce fire silently, quickly, and on demand. It meant the difference between wasting precious seconds, exposing oneself to enemy fire, and completing a necessary task safely. Beyond their immediate military utility, these lighters were symbolic of the quiet ingenuity soldiers developed under extreme pressure, turning an everyday object into a weapon of survival. In practice, a soldier didn't just carry a lighter for lighting cigarettes or stoves. Many units had specific protocols for when and how to use them. During trench raids or night manoeuvres, a lighter's spark could be used to ignite flares or signal allies. Soldiers learned to strike the flint softly to avoid detection, sometimes even shielding the flame behind a hand or metal cover. These techniques allowed soldiers to manipulate light and shadow strategically, demonstrating a level of practical survival skill that went unrecorded in most textbooks. Some soldiers took it even further. In resource-scarce conditions, they learned to combine their lighters with makeshift materials, scraps of cloth, wax, or even pieces of resin, to create long-lasting portable flames. These improvised solutions weren't taught in training manuals, but were passed down orally within squads, representing a kind of field-tested ingenuity that history rarely acknowledges. Understanding the secret soldier tool is more than a historical curiosity. It's a lens into practical, everyday problem-solving under extreme conditions. For modern survivalists, there's a clear takeaway. Even the smallest tool, if reliable and well understood, can become a critical lifeline. You don't need a complex system to survive. Sometimes mastery of a single overlooked item makes all the difference. For historians, this highlights the importance of looking beyond weapons and uniforms when reconstructing soldier experiences. The tiny, utilitarian items carried in pockets or pouches, lighters, multi-tools, compasses, reveal as much about human ingenuity and adaptability as the grand strategies of generals. By examining these objects, we can understand not just how wars were fought, but how soldiers endured, adapted, and even thrived under unimaginable stress. If you're a history enthusiast, start by studying trench and field manuals from the 20th century. Look for mentions of lighters, flints, and fire-starting methods. You'll discover stories of improvisation and strategy that never make it into mainstream narratives. If you're a survivalist, experiment with different fire-starting techniques using minimal tools. Learn to produce fire quietly and reliably in various conditions. These are skills that directly echo the lessons soldiers learned decades ago, proving that sometimes history is not just to be studied, it's to be practiced. Consider building a small historical survival kit. Include a modern equivalent of the trench lighter, a small flint striker, and a few compact fuel sources. Practice creating controlled flames under low-light conditions, understanding the way shadows, wind, and timing affect your actions. This is exactly the kind of hands-on knowledge soldiers depended on, and it's surprisingly relevant even outside the context of war. The secret soldier tool. Everyone Forgot is a reminder that the most effective innovations are often those that are quiet, personal, and easily overlooked. They survive in the pockets, the pouches, and the hands of those who need them most. Understanding these tools gives us a more intimate perspective on history, connecting us directly with the ingenuity of individuals who lived through extraordinary circumstances. If you've found this dive into hidden military history valuable, don't forget to subscribe to Atten Recounts. Share this with fellow enthusiasts and survivalists, because history's most fascinating secrets deserve to be remembered, discussed, and applied. Stay curious, stay prepared, and always keep an eye on the small tools. They often make the biggest difference.